You're counting along a number line, skipping from one whole number to the next. But there's a dimension between the whole numbers. It's an area which we call the fraction zone. Hello and welcome to Mr. Hill's Math Minute, the videos whose purpose is to help you help your student find success in mathematics. So let's take a quick look at fractions. We're going to consider this the introduction to fractions. So we're going to figure out what a fraction is, a couple things about the parts of a fraction, and then how we would be able to see fractions represented in math. So first things first, what is a fraction? Well, a fraction is a quantity that is not a whole number. So it's not an entire 1 or it's not an entire 2. It's part of a WHOLE. Now the parts of the fractions here, we have a top number and we have a bottom number. The top number is going to be the numerator and the bottom number will become the denominator. So if we have 3/5, our numerator is 3, our denominator is 5. We could also do the same thing if we have 2/4. Our numerator is 2, our denominator is 4. So once again, a fraction is a quantity, it's a value that is not a whole, it is part of a whole. So let's take a look at how a fraction can be represented in mathematics. The first thing we'll take a look at is a number line here. So I have starting at 0, and my number line goes through 6. Well, 1 is a whole number, and 2 is a whole number, and 3, and 4, and 5, and so forth and so on. When we count by those whole numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. But there are values that exist between the 1 and the 2, and that is the fraction zone. So if I go halfway between the 1 and the 2, I will have 1/2. I'm halfway on my way to 2. Now there's still value over here between the 0 and the 1. I have a value if I have a little bit more than 0, but I haven't made it all the way to 1. You can think about money. If you don't have $1, you can have 50 cents. You can have 75 cents. So there's all kinds of value inside this area, this fraction zone between the holes on the number line. We can also see fractions represented in these models. I've got a couple of common fraction-looking models down here at the bottom of this paper. One is a circle, and this circle has been divided into 4 parts. So if I was to do the fraction of this, my denominator would be 4, and my numerator, because I have 2 of those parts represented or shaded there, would be 2/4. So I have 2 of the 4 parts. So this is a representation of a fraction, a pictorial model of a fraction, and this is counting the value. So there's a difference there. I have a rectangle here, and again, I've divided that rectangle, which would be one whole rectangle, into 4 parts. Denominator 4. And same here, I've got 2 of those represented, so that would be my 2. All right, so that is a quick introduction to what a fraction is, the parts of the fractions, and how you see fractions on number lines, and also how you see them in picture models. Mr. Hill, see you later.